I will pray for all the people of this land, and I will hold them close to me, yeah. Together one day there'll be sweet harmony.
Welcome to Minerva High School, one of Alexandra Township's handful of high schools. The school boasts with quality of community and political leaders. It is today hosting its other three peer high schools in a combined effort to introduce their community to the visiting Montclair State University from the USA. The high school students were thrilled to have an opportunity to welcome and introduce visitors to Alexandra. They also took an opportunity to introduce themselves as leaders in their communities. They see a world of opportunities in their community despite its overcrowding created squalid conditions. The township of Alexandra was proclaimed in 1905 and was originally intended as a white residential area, but from 1912 onwards, 2,500 stands, each approximately 1,000 square meters, were offered for sale to black South Africans. Alexandra soon became popular as it was one of the few areas where black South Africans could acquire property rights away from rural areas. Before long, Alexandra became known as Dark City because of the absence of electricity and street lighting. In 1916, the Johannesburg City Council refused to take responsibility for Alex because it was outside city boundaries. Alexandra became known Nobody's Child. During its 91-year history, Alexandra has been home to many well-known South African figures, including sports personalities, artists, and those who at some stage in their lives held public office. Of note are the late President Nelson Mandela and the former First Lady Zanele Mbeki, the late Joe Modise, who was the Minister of Defense from 1994 to 1999, and the late Alfred Nzo, who was the Minister of Foreign Affairs during the same period, and other ministers such as Paul Mashatile. The principal of Minerva High School welcomed the visitors, both local students and foreign delegates.
Welcome. We are so much honored for you people to come to this school. You came to the best school. You won't regret.
We have created a platform today where these leaders will tell you about our community. They will remember this day 5 years later when they are in a tertiary institution, when they are in university. When they are down and out, they will say they will have a reason to hang on. I believe they will live the generation to come, another generation to come, or rather let me say the generations to come are going to be impacted by the decisions we make today. So if we don't do good, if we don't plant this leadership in these leaders, if we don't give them the platform, we are completely destroying our own community and our own future.
The high school students took turns to introduce their community and the roles they play in making it a better place for all. Excellent ideas were lauded by the teams.
Let me give a brief background of the Alexandra community. Originally, the infrastructure of Alexandra could only accommodate 70,000 residents, but at the moment, by 2009, 150,000 overcrowded Alexandra. Looking for jobs in sectors like mines, industries, and commercial activities. The infrastructure will not cope with the whole population. At the moment, there is a response for congestion, overcrowded accumulation, unhealthy conditions, population crime, and unemployment expectancy. We need to come out of this. A certain man by the name of Apostle Paul once said, I quote, live as if you were to die tomorrow, live as if you were to live forever. Unquote. One of the key problems that we are experiencing as Alexandra community members since from 1912 is land pollution. Firstly, pollution is the cause, is the action of making river, air, soil dirty and dangerous.
We as the Junior Council, we are going to engage with the Minister of Education that sex education must be taught in school so that teenagers can understand the danger and consequences of having sex at an young age. We are also going to create a sport campaign where kids are taken away from the street and have something to keep them busy rather than sitting at home and doing nothing.
In my community, the most definite problem that we face is corruption. What is this? Corruption is the mismanagement or should I say the unethical use of resources that is allocated to the government, or should I say to the community. This is against our values, our norms, and our principles, in which we are born to in this country. What causes this such a feeling? It is very simple. Nepotism, incompetent leaders, absence of public participation, illegal giving of the IRP houses. One of the socio-economic issues that we are facing as a resident of Alexandra is poverty. Poverty is a situation whereby a household is unable to generate enough or sufficient income to access basic goods and services. Residents here in Alexandra are facing poverty because many of them are illiterate. There are two types of poverty. We have relative and absolute poverty. Many people might argue that residents here in Alex are living under relative poverty, with regards that they have enough on hand to access basic goods and services, but are poor when compared to other inhabitants in the country. Alexandra is regarded as one of the poorest urban areas in South Africa. Households here in Alexandra can generate enough income to access basic goods and services, but the income that they generate is not enough to sustain the household for a period of a month.
For you to share one of the biggest problems faced by Alexandra Township, which is overpopulation. The major problem resulting in overpopulation seems to be migration, urbanization, and high birth rate, not only caused by teenagers but adults as well. The significant unplanned population has overloaded the infrastructure such that water pressures are low and sewage is frequently clogged and overflow. Overpopulation seems to be a huge problem in our society and is very difficult to control, as one may find it very difficult to control the mindset of others.
We, as junior councillors, are prepared to teach our brothers and sisters from this school and our institutions about the importance of this, which will not only benefit them, but the community that they reside in. Because whatsoever that we're teaching them, they'll be taking it back to the community that they live in. If late Nelson Mandela was able to teach people to love one another, we are also prepared to teach our fellow brothers and sisters to love the environment as much as they love themselves.
So we need a better way in which we can interact with students from different schools to find solutions in our problems we face as schools.
The visiting team had a chance to engage with the students.
Also, it's great to see that the young people are able to identify the problems and not just complain that there are problems, but to come up with solutions that you can implement. What do you hope to achieve by your presentation to us?
You know, at some point people come up with solutions, but they can't walk the talk. They just come up with solutions and then just sit back. Like what is happening around us at the moment. So coming up with possible solutions and having a partnership between both parties, knowing that our future generation, we as the young leaders of tomorrow, we know that our community is going in the right direction, knowing that we have the partnership of our fellow peers.
Maybe you can mentor us.
Your presentations were excellent. So congratulations to excellent presentations.
So you guys are inspiration not just to us, but you will inspire all the young adults in your community. So just go forward with what you have and don't stop, like what Maria was saying, like what our friends saying. It'll be discouraging, change is hard, and change takes time, but with people like you guys are an inspiration to the world, so thank you.
As much as we've all stood here today and talked about how you're future leaders, you're leaders now. You've truly embraced the needs of your community and you're working towards solutions, and it's incredible work that you're doing.
You know, when I listen to all of the presentations, you all have a maturity that I think exceeds that of a lot of our undergraduate students at the college. And so these are graduate students, but the way you're presenting, the way you've thought about the challenges and thought about what you can do and how you can help and empower the rest of your community is astounding to me. And you know, you have a lot of opportunity in front of all of you.
You all were amazing and inspiring and energizing, and I think it's safe to say that in many ways this opportunity to engage with and listen to you was the highlight of our trip. So thank you for your contributions to the discussion and for your wonderful work. I think we're all slightly more optimistic having heard from you as to what the future of Alexandra Alexandra in particular, South Africa in general, will be like under your leadership. So we applaud that. To the faculty and staff here, and of course, as always, my friend and colleague Eric, thank you for providing us with the opportunity. We asked our students to bring together, as I think Eric knows, and we'll leave this for your principals and teachers to distribute as necessary, backpacks with just lots of school supplies and materials. We've got some extra materials for the teachers to just use as they need, just a very small sort of token of our thanks for your time and effort.
A poem by Dr. Eric Mpofu.
My beginning is noted to you, just like you note my destiny. You mothered me, my umbilical cord you hold, and my bathwater you swallowed. You taught me to walk, talk right, and today I fight for distinction. Every day I open my eyes to a docile, smiling Alexandra. My life you jealously guard like a lioness. You throb in my inside silences. You are silent in my heartbeat. You are loud in my identity and culture. Alexandra, often I've cried. Personality and identity is molded by one's development. I am a showpiece to your beautiful motherhood.